Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating spiritual idea. What if all that constant frustration we feel in life isn't just a bug in the system? What if it's actually a feature with a pretty profound purpose?
So let's kick things off with a quote from our source text that feels, well, pretty universal. Reality always upsets us. Always. And isn't that just the truth? It doesn't matter who you are, what you have, or where you're at. Life just has this amazing knack for getting under your skin. It's this constant, low-grade friction with the world.
And what's the most natural reaction to that feeling? I mean, for a lot of us, it's this fantasy of just escaping. You know the feeling, right? That's it. I'm done with people. I'm going to go live on a deserted island and just be done with all of it. It's a really tempting thought.
But here's where a source makes a crucial point. There is no escape. Nope. Even on that picture-perfect deserted island, reality will somehow find a way to get on your nerves. And that's because this upsetting force, this capital R reality, isn't random at all. It actually has an agenda.
So, if this frustrating force is literally everywhere and it has its own agenda, then what exactly is it? This brings us to our first section, where we're going to dig into what this philosophy really means when it talks about life's universal frustration.
And here it is. This is the big idea that frames everything else we're going to talk about. In this way of thinking, the force we experience as reality, all those things that challenge us and tick us off, is actually something much, much bigger, a direct interaction with God. The key thing to get here is that it's not a mistake, it's by design.
Okay, so that obviously brings up a huge question. If this force is God, why would its main job be to upset us? Well, that leads us right into our next section, reality's hidden purpose. As it turns out, there's a very specific goal behind all this friction.
The purpose isn't to punish us. It's to perform what the text calls a sorting of the heart. Every single frustrating situation is basically a little pop quiz. It's designed to reveal what's truly inside of us. Will we react with resistance, or can we somehow find our way to acceptance?
And why is this sorting so important? Well, because without these little moments of friction, our inner worlds would just stay a jumbled, tangled mess. We'd never really see the things that hold us back, the ways we get in our own way. These challenges are designed to bring all that hidden stuff to the surface so we can finally see it clearly.
So, how does this sorting thing actually work in our day-to-day lives? This gets us to the really practical side of the idea, the resistance within. The whole mechanism is actually a surprisingly simple three-step process.
And it happens constantly. First, reality upsets you. Your boss says something weird, you get cut off in traffic, whatever. Second, this feeling of resistance just flares up inside you. It's that little tightening in your chest, that feeling of being offended. And third, right in that moment, a choice pops up. Are you going to hang on to that resistance? Or can you just let it go?
Now, what's absolutely crucial here is that we're talking about the internal reaction. You might be a master of composure. You might never show a hint of frustration on the outside. But according to the source, that doesn't matter one bit. The heart still reacts. That inner clenching, that is the resistance the whole process is designed to show you.
Okay, so the goal is to see our own resistance and then choose to let it go. But what happens then? What's the point? This brings us to the ultimate aim of this entire process, which our source calls the power of zero.
So what does zero even mean here?
It's not about being worthless or being a nobody. Not all. In this context, zero is like the ground state of being. It's the fundamental source code that everything emerges from. You could even say it's another name for God, the nothingness that somehow contains everything.
But there's a really key distinction to make. The text talks about two different types of zero. You've got the initial zero, which is kind of like our unrevealed potential, the part of us that reality pokes at to get a reaction. But then you have the chosen zero, and that's the state we get to when we consciously see our resistance and we choose to let it go, returning to that ground state with full awareness.
And choosing this second zero is an active process. It is not passive. This quote from the source captures it perfectly. Quote, "When you hear yourself insulted, be still and stay silent. Instead of engaging with that resistance, instead of fighting back, you just let it pass. And in that little moment of letting go, you get to actually experience that ground state of zero firsthand."
Now, if you follow this logic all the way to its conclusion, you end up with a really fascinating, completely upside-down view of the world. It basically flips what we normally think of as worldly wisdom right on its head.
I mean, this is a truly provocative statement from the text. It's suggesting that the things our culture values most, status, ego, being a winner, are the very things that create distance from this ultimate reality, from God. So the thing the world is terrified of, being a loser, is from this perspective actually a step closer to zero.
The contrast is just stark. Worldly wisdom screams at us to build ourselves up, accomplish more, to be full of ourselves. The zero path suggests the complete opposite. The goal is to nullify, to let go, to embrace nothingness. It is a total reversal of our usual values.
But here's the paradox, the real catch-22 of the whole system. You can't let go of something that doesn't exist to begin with. You have to first go out and act in the world. You have to learn things, build a career, form an identity. You basically need to have something before you can consciously nullify it. So action in the world is actually a necessary first step for this whole spiritual practice of letting go.
So to wrap up this explainer, we're left with a really powerful question to apply to our own lives. The next time reality upsets you, and let's be honest, it will, instead of just reacting on autopilot, maybe you can ask yourself, what is this moment trying to show me? What resistance is being brought to the surface for me to see? And maybe, just maybe, to finally let go of?